Aloha and welcome. My name is Taylor Norris, and I'm a Reiki Master Teacher as well as a certified Quantum Soul Guidance Galactic Astrology Soul Reader. Thank you so much for being here today. In today's video, we will be diving into the energies and frequencies pouring in from the cosmos, from the stars, from the planets, through these portals, opening this full moon in Aquarius on August 1st, 2023. All right, what you see here is the astrological chart of this full moon in Aquarius on August 1st. Now, it is a full moon, because the moon in Aquarius is opposite the sun in Leo. And this full moon is ruled by Saturn in Pisces, the ancient ruler, as well as Uranus in Taurus, the modern ruler. So we have this very interesting Aquarian energy of old and new wisdom emerging, the higher mind, the intellect, our connection to the collective unconscious, cosmic consciousness, the galactic technologies, both externally manifested, internally manifested, contained within us, experienced in our outside world, for the continued wellness and evolution of humanity, the earth, and our connection to all that is. Aquarius is an energy of community. The network, the grid of light, is really how I like to tune in and experience this Aquarian energy. And with the sun in Leo, we're having this spotlight shown on this Aquarian energy. So it's a real opportunity to tune into the luminosity, the radiance of your heart, the messages coming in through your heart field, the biofield, the electromagnetic field of your heart, and to connect those with your higher mind, your intuition, making the unconscious conscious so that you may fully embody this evolutionary moment in your soul history in the highest possible expression. Now, we have some very dynamic energy also playing through this particular lunation. Full moons are always intense. They're always powerful and potent. This particular full moon is a super moon. So that means it is closer to the earth. It appears larger in the sky. It's even stronger. And this energy is amplified by some of these second and fourth harmonic aspects, these alignments of the planets, the geometries of the planets. So we have an opposition, which is 180 degrees. It's as far apart as possible, like the sun and the moon are 180 degrees to make the full moon. We have Mercury opposite Saturn in that same kind of full moon type of configuration. So we have these two psychological archetypal energies, these two psycho-spiritual functions within ourselves at an opposition. So what does this mean? Well, this creates a feeling of tension, and oftentimes the oppositions, this is true for full moons, we experience them as something outside of ourselves getting our attention and manifesting, not within ourselves. Now, when you're on a path of spiritual awakening, sometimes that can happen like that, right? You experience, for example, you're playing more the role of Mercury, and you're encountering this kind of Saturn force in your experience in your daily life. On a spiritual path, the invitation is to experience the unification and the presence and the manifestation, the embodiment of both of these archetypes, both Mercury and Saturn, both sun and moon, within yourself. So you can sit at the center of this astrological wheel instead of polarizing over here, playing just Mercury or just Saturn, right? And having that energy experience external to you. Now that can be fun too. So, it's all up to you. Free will choice. We'll get more into that particular opposition because it's got a really cool linkage with one of the royal stars. Now, this other elephant in the room, very strong energy we're dealing with this full moon, is a square, the fourth harmonic, this 90-degree aspect, which is indicating a crisis in action or a crisis in our consciousness, a crisis in our thinking. It's something that's motivating us to either take an action, go ahead and make that step, that behavioral change, or to more subtly allow and facilitate our shift in our consciousness and our thinking that will then translate into an action in divine timing. And this is the same aspect I've talked about in recent videos, and astrologers everywhere are talking about this, and people everywhere, animals, plants, nature, everything on earth is definitely feeling this. What is this? This is the dwarf planet powerhouse Pluto squaring the nodes of the moon, which have to do with our collective destiny, our evolutionary trajectory that's happening right now. It's always happening. But right now, we're integrating the archetypal energies of Aries and Libra, of going more into who am I? How do I express who I am, my desires, my needs, my feelings, my truth, my reality? How do I be a pioneer with great courage and strength and boldness in that? This is Aries, the North Node in Aries, and releasing the people-pleasing, codependent tendencies of Libra and allowing the higher manifestations of the Libra archetype, such as peacefulness and harmony and beauty, creativity, balance, justice, truth, appreciation, and alignment with natural and universal and cosmic laws. So Pluto squaring this nodal axis is really asking us to balance that out, balance the Aries, balance the Libra, make the changes in our thinking, become aware of the thought processes, the feeling processes, the energetic blockages, the actions, the behaviors, the attitudes, the beliefs that are impeding our full embodiment of these higher frequency expressions of Aries and Libra, so that we can be pioneers of this new earth, so that we can do something new here and bring into greater form these ideas and frequencies and energies of the new earth, of paradigms, of solutions that are birthing within every cell of our body, every wave of our energy field. We also have Jupiter square this full moon. So again, this is another signature saying, supersize that full moon. It's already a super moon. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, so it's like, all right, this full moon, we're just gonna expand that and amplify that times 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, a billion, however many exponents Jupiter is wanting to put on that. So yeah, it's not subtle. It's not subtle, friends. And, we're in for a good ride here. The invitation is definitely one of expanding our consciousness and expanding our heart space, expanding our higher mind, expanding our perception of the collective and cosmic consciousness of this grid of light. Venus is also square to Uranus. So you may remember Uranus is the modern ruler of this full moon in Aquarius. And so Uranus is in Taurus, a sign that's ruled by Venus. So with these two in dynamic relationship, we have a Venusian flavor to this full moon as well, which is amplified by the fact that Venus is retrograde in the sign of Leo, where our lovely sun is. So everything just loops back around to itself. So what is this asking us to do? It's asking us to clarify our values, Venus, and to not be afraid to allow the embodiment, the fruition, the coming forth, the upwelling of values that may not be mainstream, that may not be ordinary. Uranus, our awakened value system, or being shaken up and asked, what really does matter to you? What do you really value? And how can you come into greater authenticity in the way that you value yourself for just being you? This is an aspect I think that's really supporting us in shedding that conditioning of you're not worthy, or you're not good enough, or you don't deserve. Venus says, yes, absolutely you do. And Uranus says, now it's time to be free. So this is wonderfully supportive. And we also have this coming in with some harmonious aspects, the trine and the sextile aspects, third and sixth harmonics. These are harmonious flows of energy that Venus is making with that north node of the moon in Aries and the south node of the moon in Libra, a sign that she rules. So again, the more we can really embody and clarify what are our authentic values, our authentic truth, accessing these higher frequencies of beauty and truth and love, and our connection to source, our connection to nature. This is really what Venus is flowing through with these nodes, as a messenger of grace and gratitude and clarity at this time, to be bold and step into more of your authentic value system, to become aware more of what that value system is, and to courageously express that in small ways, in big ways, in whatever way you are guided to do so at this time. There is that support for you to access right now. We have another very magical alignment I happen to notice just in the regular astrological chart of this full moon in Aquarius. And this is a golden yod. You see it with the yellow lines there drawn in the chart. And these are fifth harmonic aspects. So these are 72 and 144 degree geometries between the various components here involving Mars, Moon, and Chiron. So I didn't want to say planets because Mars is the only planet there. Chiron is a Centaur asteroid, and the Moon is our moon, a category of her own. And so this particular geometry is a evolutionary flow of energy, the quintile, the biquintile, that indicates a magical creation, gift and talent, just really beautiful, magical, ethereal kind of flow of energy here. And so this is there, it's going to express, but it's a bit more subtle than the geometries and the aspects I just shared with you. And so this golden yod is made up between the moon in Aquarius, quintile, Chiron in Aries. You see that with the glyph of the key there. And Chiron in Aries is biquintile, Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo is biquintile. It completes that triangular shape with the moon in Aquarius. There's another one here that I don't have drawn in, but it's Mercury biquintile, Pluto. So this is really indicating a lot of extra layers of magic in this full moon. And it's really interesting. The morning that I put this presentation together, that morning I was meditating and activating Reiki first thing in the morning before I'd done anything. And what I was doing is so funny. I was like embracing the Mars archetype and really embracing my inner masculine and embracing that Mars part of me, my will, my desire, my motivation, my ego, my drive, my pure ego, really, which is something I'm exploring right now. And really just like sitting with that and being with that and not pushing it away and not judging it and not also just unconsciously letting it totally run the show, right? But just embracing it, hugging it, loving it, seeing it, holding it like a small child. And that to me is exactly the energy of these three coming together and being linked in this way, because Chiron is the teacher, the healer, the mentor who was wounded and could not find a cure for his particular wound, but did not let that stop him from being the teacher and the mentor and the guide to so many others and unlocking such vast wisdom and intelligence and healing modalities and methodologies and magic that he passed on to so many of his mentees. So, you know, just those two together would be really healing of that Mars energy. How do we make sense of that? How do we embody that? How do we love that part of ourselves, that divine masculine part of ourselves, you know, even the wounded masculine part of ourselves, and alchemize that wounded masculine part of ourselves into the divine masculine part of ourselves, which we have, whether we are male, female, non-binary, any type of gender identification. And so the moon being there as well in this configuration is bringing in that motherly, nurturing, holding, compassionate energy of like, yeah, I'm just going to rock in my arms that little Mars baby there and nurture it and love it and, you know, receive the intuitive downloads from that Mars aspect as well. So there's a real softness there, real harmony there. So it really is. It's this opportunity to discover what is the medicine of your Mars. How can Mars express the emotionality and nurturing of the intuitive moon, and also receive that nurturing from the moon, from the mother that's within you. How can Mars express the mastery, mentorship, and healing teaching skill of Chiron? Because we all have that. We all have some medicine, some wound that we can alchemize into our medicine, that our intuition can help us heal, our nurturing, our moon can help us heal and become aware of and work through. And that Mars can then really be the ambassador, the active agent of that healing mastery in our life. And in Virgo, share it with others, allow it to be of service and of benefit to others, and contribute to the wellness of humanity and the earth. So definitely tap into this. This is really beautiful, like masculine undertone of this moon. Is we talked about there's this Venusian layer to it. Well, this is more the Martian. This is more the masculine layer to it. That's very, very magical. And with even that South Node in Libra asking us to balance, this is the divine masculine energy you can really tap into in a beautiful way and bring more of that balance into your experience right now. Now, here we have the galactic chart from galacticastrochart.com. You can pull up one of these for free for yourself, friends, family, events, etc. if you're curious. And this is for the full moon in Aquarius. So this shows the sun, the moon, north node, south node, Mercury, and so on, what sign they are in, and what constellations are the sun, the moon, and so on, either conjunct 0 degrees, they're right together, aligned, or opposite 180 degrees. They are as far apart as possible, but still in a very strong and powerful alignment. And so we have the galactic energies available to us of Andromeda, Boots, Piscis, Austrinus, Cygnus, Hydra, Eridanus, again Andromeda, Crux. Again, we're seeing a repeat, Piscis, Austrinus, and Cygnus, as well as Centaurus and the Galactic. So quite a variety here of galactic energies available for us to tap into this full moon. This next chart here shows what particular star or celestial body are we talking about in Andromeda. So it gives more information, more of the specifics. So we will go through these a few at a time here, but you can just see now which star or which body is the alignment to. The first alignment I'd like to draw your attention to is with the north node and the south node of the moon. The north node of the moon, you see there in Aries, is in a conjunct alignment with Andromeda galaxy vertex. So this is not the stars of Andromeda, but actually Andromeda galaxy, which is a whole other galaxy, like our Milky Way is a galaxy. Andromeda is a galaxy as well. And whereas the Milky Way is more of the divine masculine expression, Andromeda galaxy is more of this divine feminine expression of galactic energy. It is a cosmic portal, just like the Milky Way with our our galactic center at the center of the Milky Way. Andromeda galaxy is a total portal with, a stargate or some kind of energy at the center that really facilitates our connection to all over the place, all over space and time. And now in Andromeda galaxy, it's a place of instant manifestation. It's a place of really highly evolved beings. You see some of those beings there, the purple feminine type beings. Violet and blue and indigo are colors often associated with Andromeda. And these are just really highly evolved beings that are very compassionate, very much quick manifestors, and have the ability to navigate a ever-changing, very fluid, very flowing reality with grace, with ease, with flow. they're not like Earth humans where we can't control our thoughts and, our minds are all over the place. They are very dialed in and precise and comfortable with thoughts manifesting as things quickly. There's not that delay that we have here that is honestly a bit of a safety buffer because you consider what would happen if your average unconscious person had instant manifestation of their thoughts. Things would be a whole lot worse here. So it's really a blessing on earth we don't have this. But for those that are on a spiritual path and expanding their consciousness, the opportunity is to receive guidance here into that manifestation of our dreams, that manifestation of our intention. So Andromeda thought is much more conscious. It's much more intentional. Imagine if every single thought you had was intentional, was conscious, was the one that was aligned with your highest truth, your authenticity, your integrity. I think that's really the teaching of Andromeda here, being aligned with our North Node. And of course, it's an opportunity to call upon Andromedan beings, Andromedan guides, Andromedan future self aspects, that one in particular, to guide you in this full moon, in this next several months we have of Pluto square the nodes of the moon. They can be very, very helpful. So highly recommend connecting with these beings. I suspect they'll come in the Reiki journey I channel for this full moon. So you're welcome to tune into that video as well. I will share it here on my YouTube channel shortly. Now, the south node of the moon is aligned with Izar star in Boots constellation. So this is a very different energy, and you see it here in this Uranus mirror picture here of the hunter here with his two dogs, and the Izar star is basically at his hip. So this is an interesting energy. You see some depiction of some of the beings, what they might look like in the bottom right-hand corner here, what the ships may look like here. Honestly, this is not an energy I've really tuned into all that much, but what I'm feeling for it is there's an opportunity here to heal our relationship with technology, with AI, with any of these shadow expressions or darker, lower vibrational expressions of our relationship to technology, of our relationship to the masculine energy, space travel, and so on. Secrecy we've had around this, compartmentalization we've had around this, the unconsciousness we've had around this. I think it's really an opportunity to shed that and trust our discernment and our knowingness of how to make peace with technology, how to use it for the highest good of all, how to harmonize it with the higher frequencies and allow our creations to be in alignment and natural organic outflows of our connection to source and our connection to our knowingness that we are truly love. So very powerful. We have a secondary Andromedan influence here coming through because planet Jupiter, square to this lunation, as I talked about, is conjunct the Almach star in Andromeda constellation. And you see Andromeda constellation there, the picture of the chained woman. And so in myth, this was the princess and daughter of Queen Cassiopeia, who was bragging about how beautiful her daughter was, and this angered Aphrodite, Venus, goddess of love and beauty. And the gods were all in a tizzy about this, supposedly, in the stories of Greek mythology, that Queen Cassiopeia and the king, I don't remember his name, they decided to chain up their daughter to a rock and do this to appease the gods. So they did this. She was chained up to a rock. Cetus the whale, the sea monster, was sent after her to eat her. and she was left to die chained up to this rock. And Perseus came there at the last minute and slayed the beast that was to devour her. And they became husband and wife. It was a bit of a fairy tale ending. She was free, she was liberated. So, alignments to this particular constellation really is emphasizing this theme of freedom, this theme of, again, divine feminine, and this understanding that we are nature. Almach star in particular in Andromeda has this beautiful energy of our connection to nature, of connection to the elementals and nature spirits. Go sit by a waterfall and connect with the water elemental spirits and the mists and the beauty and the, what you see in the rocks, the fairy realms, the elf realms, all of the nature spirits and the magic of Mother Earth. This is an opportunity and an energy where you can really feel quite connected and grounded and in training to the magic of the earth and where you are located in the earth. This is really the energy of this Almach star, especially with Jupiter being there, expanding that. So really, here it is. The more you ground yourself and connect to the earth, this full moon, the more these higher expression of these galactic and cosmic energies can really be there and meet you and flow through. Okay, I just love this here. So our North Node in Aries is ruled by the planet Mars in Virgo, and Mars is opposite Eridanus constellation star Achernar. And this is just beautiful. I have the Eridanus constellation shown in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide here, and it's the Great River. What this is to me, this constellation, it's the Great River of life where we go to heal and cleanse and purify ourselves. This is a location that we experience in Reiki journeys, shamanic journeys. We can experience it in our beautiful rivers here on Earth. It is also said to be connected to the Tigris and Euphrates rivers or the Nile River, depending on who you find that information from, to some of the most ancient civilizations on Earth that we can find now that have not been erased by diluvian periods, by floods, by cataclysms. So I'm not saying it's connected to the oldest civilizations, but it's connected to very old civilizations that we can actually find in archaeological evidence on Earth at this time, dating as far back as, possibly 50,000 years, give or take, maybe even further back in Eridu, in Mesopotamia, etc. And so cosmically, this constellation Eridanus, star Achernar, these energies, this star system is said to be very connected to the elves. And I have a picture here of Lord of the Rings, Galadriel, my favorite elf from that series, the beautiful priestess, magician, sorceress. And this is really, if Mars and Virgo, this would be like the most priestess edition of Mars, the most healing expression of Mars that I can really imagine at this time, and coming through as this beautiful angelic elf being. Well, this is just magical. We can use our will, our drive, our divine masculine, our assertive energy to connect with these higher frequencies of the elves, of the elementals, of the healing frequencies of the earth, the land, and also of the water, connecting to the river of life. And again, washing any of those lower expressions of the wounded masculine, releasing those into the river of life. That is what is feeling like this aspect is really highlighting. Now, the ruler of the south node of the moon in Libra is Venus in Leo. And Venus in Leo is conjunct Hydra constellation, the star Alphard. And you see Hydra constellation as this serpent constellation in the diagram. And, they both kind of look like serpents, but one's a river, right? Eridanus is a river, the one down below, and the one up top is a serpent or dragon. You could really tune into it as a dragon as well. And the Alphard star, the heart of this particular serpent dragon being. And this is a very, very powerful star that's very dear to my heart, but really again has the unification of divine feminine, divine masculine energies built into it. It's a twin flame type of energy. It's a energy of alchemy, of transformation, of shedding the serpent's skin and being reborn, of the mysteries, life, death, resurrection, ascension, and linked to divine couples such as Osiris and Isis and Mary Magdalene and Jesus, and many of these beings who showed us with such mastery on earth how to come together in sacred union and really perform the sacred ritual of life and expanding our awareness of what it means to be a human being and what human consciousness is able to embody and do and perform in the sacred performance of life. So it's a very creative energy, linked to the serpent, linked to the rose, linked to the flower, and very, very sacred, very, very deep, very, very mystical, mysterious, and I would say deeply personal. Alphard star and Hydra, deeply, deeply personal energy. So really, really beautiful alignment here with Hydra constellation. This, I feel, is a very helpful aspect we're having to become more of who we truly are and facilitate our highest evolution and do the work that Pluto is really asking us to do right now, which is transform, shed our skin, allow ourselves to be rebirthed and reborn at this time as individuals and as a collective. So this is a follow-up slide on that incredible, very powerful, not subtle opposition between Mercury in Virgo and Saturn and Pisces. And what's so amazing about this is that Saturn is conjunct the royal star Fomalhaut in Piscis Austrinus constellation. And so that means that Mercury then is opposite this same star. And in the Uranus diagram, Uranus mirror diagram of this is the constellation Aquarius, and we see Piscis Austrinus down there at the very bottom is part of that fish, and Fomalhaut is actually the fish's mouth that's receiving the plasmic, superconscious, liquid life force waters, etheric waters of Aquarius that he's pouring out here. This star is connected to Archangel Gabriel, and I have all over here the beautiful Angels of Atlantis and Angel Heart Sigil cards of Stuart Pearce. I work with these cards every day. They're my favorite angel cards that I'm working with right now. And you can really tune into the energy of Gabriel presented as this beautiful sapphire blue orb. Oh, Gabriel's energy is just so, so wonderful. So there really is this opportunity to allow Gabriel to guide us in our embodied expression of our inner authority, Saturn, to trust ourselves fully, to express our inner truth, to align also our lower mind, our thinking mind with our inner truth and our inner authority, instead of allowing ourselves to be told what to believe, what to think, who we are, what we should learn, what we should spend our time on, how our mental processes should be based on what some external is telling us. No, the opportunity is really to connect straight to source, to allow ourselves to embody the divine messenger. And really, this to me is saying, listen this full moon, because some really like long-term, powerful, higher guidance is able to flow in with this particular aspect. So watch for that. Allow yourself to receive that. There are divine messages available this full moon in particular that will help you embody and manifest and create from your inner authority these new earth forms that are wanting to be birthed through each of us uniquely. So we have another signature here of heaven on earth with the alignment of Uranus and Taurus opposite Beta Centauri Hadar. And I have this beautiful diagram here of the constellation Centaurus, and the star Hadar is, you know, in his, like his shoulder, the Centaur's shoulder. And so this particular galactic location is said to be a world where it was like a heaven on earth. Imagine if heaven on earth happens here. Well, it happened there. It happened on some of the worlds in this particular star system. And many of us have memories of this. Many of us really enjoyed this. And it said that this world was actually lost. It was destroyed. It was not one that they got to keep forever. There was some kind of impermanence from that. So many of us carry this wound of having done this whole collective ascension process in physicality, because it was a world much like ours, of perhaps a slightly more etheric, less dense variety, but still a more physical world that achieved this state of everybody and everything is ascended and in harmony. And so being on Earth now, a soul with a lot of Hadarian connections and alignment can just feel straight up disappointed or a bit hopeless about this. And the opportunity, of course, is to access, well, I've done it before somewhere else, and I have this wonderful planet here where I can do it again. And there's lots of us here that want to do it again and be it again. So Uranus is really waking us up to that, and allowing these downloads and these insights about how we can embody those heaven on earth codes and also manifest them, give them form in any and all ways we're guided to do so. That's really what I'm seeing here is the opportunity. And I found the picture of this beautiful blonde being here, and I thought this is a really nice depiction of what a being from Hadar might look like. Another very high frequency, refined vibration we have here is with Neptune opposite the supergalactic center. And Neptune is also square the galactic center. So I don't have that aspect shown necessarily, but know that that is there as well. So Neptune is not only interacting with the galactic center, the center of our Milky Way galaxy, but it's also interacting in an opposition with the supergalactic center, which is the supermassive black hole around which Milky Way galaxy, our galaxy, and 30 or so other galaxies are all rotating. So our galactic center is strong and massive and powerful. Supergalactic center is like the next level, the higher octave. And with this particular alignment, the themes here are very much of healing oneself and one's relationship to others, like all our relations, really healing the ancestral wounding and traumas and injuries we've had in our patterning that have not led us to good relations with all beings, letting those go, letting them dissolve, just letting them dissolve, letting them spiritualize, Neptune, letting go of the patterns of relation that are not serving our highest good as individuals and on a collective scale, and using the source energy, the unconditional source energy love of the cosmos to allow us and guide us in this process. And so it really is an opportunity to do the healing work, as Neptune is in Pisces saying, let it go, let it flow. If it's not for your highest good, it's not for the highest good of all. Why are you holding on to it? You're not going to be able to hold on to it much longer, so you might as well choose to let it go. And so we're being supported in this letting go process to allow ourselves to perform the sacred transformation we're really being invited and encouraged and guided and cheered along to do. So it was so clear in talking about the different alignments and how the planets are playing together in this. Each of them is carrying a different piece of like this group support system, this group cosmic support system that's like guiding each of us as individuals, because how this is interacting with you will be very individual, but guiding us as a collective through this process. They're all holding our hands, even if it feels hard, even if it feels challenging at times. They're all holding our hands, giving us gentle nudges and pushes. And of course, with our intentions, we can ask for it to be smoother and easier and gentler and softer. I always like to do that, but that is the intent that I am reading here from this. It's not a punishment. It's not here to, make it hard for you or for any of us, or because we're bad or wrong. It's quite the opposite. It's because we're ready. It's because each of us, and as a collective humanity, we are ready for the new earth. We are ready for a collective ascension. We are ready to live in harmony with each other, with the animals, with the plants, with the mineral kingdom, with the galactic, with the cosmic energies and beings. We are ready for our next level of understanding and expressing our human consciousness, and how beautiful and masterful and complex and simple and precious, what a gift it really is. Here again, I have all the various alignments for you with the map of constellations. These are the conjunct and opposite galactic energies available to us. And again, they're all cosmic and galactic energies are available to you all the time at any moment, because you are the universe and the universe is you. As above, so below, as within, so without. So I thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to connect more, I have Reiki classes upcoming in August for beginners, Reiki 1 and 2, Reiki sessions, as well as my Galactic Astrology soul readings, where we go into the Galactic Astrology specific to your soul and allow the coding of your intuitive connection, your soul history, your sacred life path to flow through on the energy frequency of Reiki and illuminate more in terms of guiding you forward and healing from any place in your soul history. That's one of my favorite things about Reiki. If you're really resonating with this right now, I definitely invite you to check out the Reiki journey I'll be sharing for the full moon, as well as every new moon I do a free Reiki share where you can experience directly the energies that I'm talking about that are happening in the galactic. So thank you for being my soul family. Every time I interact with one of you, it's like, wow, I know you from ancient Egypt. I know you from Atlantis. I know you from, I know you from Alphard and Leo, like all these different places. So it is my pleasure to connect with you. Thank you for being here. Aho, amen, namaste. So it is. Mahalo. Happy full moon.